YouTube. How are you all? Thanks for coming back to the show. People who own Bitcoin don't know what's coming, but guess what? It's in the numbers. There is a flip moment in every circle. This time, XRP is the only asset that can take the throne. If you think this is all a bunch of talk, wait until you see the numbers that Wisdom Tree just released. Will begin right now. Wisdom Tree, they didn't skirt around it or hide a note, they said it straight out. XRP only needs to go up 20 times from where it is now to beat Bitcoin. This isn't a tip from an influential person. This is one of the world's largest institutional asset managers bringing up a math problem that no one in the Bitcoin side wants to talk about. Why did they pick XRP over all the other assets to show this? There must be a lot of different cryptos out there, right? It's the first time in the history of crypto that the infrastructure, the liquidity rails, and the legal path are all moving in XRP's favor. Blockchain, on the other hand, does nothing. And when you put that 20x projection on top of the macro structure for 2025 and 2026, along with XRP's previous cycle pattern, it stops looking so bold and starts looking very cautious. There's no way for XRP to catch up. This is XRP doing what it was made to do. Let's get real, folks. You're taking a chance if you're watching this without a plan for the XRP cycle. Set up a call with me alone. We'll include your entry and exit points, tax structure, over-the-counter OTC flows, and even how to set up your LLC if you're ready to take things to the next level. First, sign up for the free newsletter. That way you'll never miss the kind of research that moves markets before everyone else does. Now, I posted this thread a little earlier, right? Have we talked about whether XRP missed the bull run? Is the market empty? Listen to me out. It seems like everyone is walking around out there, right? XRP missed the rise in value. The take is completely wrong. In a way, XRP ended the last bull run. Let's go back a bit. This post has everything you need to see. 2017 XRP was behind the whole year. It was made fun of. It wasn't looked at. It was known as a crap coin. It was forgotten. Then what happened in the last few yards? It went off more than a 30,000% change. It was one of the silliest runs in the history of money. It was the last thing to move. As for the mind, everyone has checked out. Let us look at the cycle from 2024 to 2025. XRP went up anywhere from 5 to 700% on the big exchanges from October of last year to January of this year. Yes? Mainstream media sites said they made 3 to 400% more money when the law became clear and money started flowing again. When it blew up in November and January, it wasn't by chance end-of-cycle XRP blow-offs happen all the time. What happened after that? Well, XRP has dropped 25 to 30%, BTC dropped by about 20 to 25%. The value of all the crap in the Bitcoin market dropped from 4 trillion to 3 trillion. Macro got tighter, real hope disappeared. It's not a bull market, that's a secret store. The exact step of purging that led to XRP's huge move in 2017. It looks like the XRP to Bitcoin pair could make its first monthly rise since XRP's biggest run ever. That ratio is going to flip, and when it does, XRP doesn't just go up, it teleports. In the end, everything points to the same thing. The crash of 2025 was not the bull run. On October 10th, 19 billion in longs were wiped out, which restarted the markets. Also, guess what? Right now, XRP is getting ready to start the next cycle instead of following it. This gets us to this point. Next week could be the biggest week we've ever seen. Several Fed leaders are talking. The FOMC came to you on the 19th data, on the big label market came to you on the 20th. This is always a time when volatility goes through the roof, but here's what most people don't know. In the past, macro volatility has helped assets that have real utility, deep liquidity, and institutional on-ramps. This is exactly where XRP is quietly pulling ahead. Every shakeout brings capital closer to utility assets, and XRP is the only major asset with clear regulations and waves of ETFs launching, which brings us right up to this point. Take a look at this lineup that Canary Capital has already launched. Frankie T comes next. The next ones are 21 shares, Bitwise, CoinShares, Grayscale, and Wisdom Tree. All of this is coming. Frankie T will be out by Tuesday. The 18th Bitwise is coming the next day, on the 19th or 20th. The next 2 days, you got 21 shares and CoinShares at the same time. Finally, near Thanksgiving, at the end of the month, you got Grayscale and Wisdom Trade. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. By the end of the month, that's 7 spot ETFs. There's no maybe someday about this. In the same month, these companies were in charge of trillions of dollars, and their first exposure to XRP Bitcoin has never had a trade rollout that was so well timed. Don't forget that. They also didn't have ETH. The price is being held down while this planned liquidity rail build-out takes place. This is how all of XRP's biggest runs have begun. And right now, the Bitcoin maxes are going down. New emails show that Epstein-linked money paid for early work on Bitcoin's core. Keep an eye on how quickly people in the Bitcoin community try to make this sound like an attack on Ripple or XRP. When stories get weaker, nationalism goes through the roof. They're not in charge of the story anymore, people. You can feel it. Which brings us to this. Your 50 MA moving average just went over your 200 MA, the scary death cross. No, the fear is here. The funny thing is this. In the past, Bitcoin has gone down to the death cross and then gone up by anywhere from 70% to 195%. But that bounce has always made it possible for other coins to catch up to Bitcoin when Bitcoin slows down. What will happen if BTC goes up and then stops? That's the exact situation where XRP has changed into hyperp in the past, according to math. Then this happened. It was said by the Secretary of Commerce, every time Bitcoin falls, I'm buying. You can tell we're not in the same world. Because of this, the doors to institutions aren't opening. They're coming off the doors. Listen, if you took my share of my public companies and did the math, you'd get $2 billion. Okay? Okay. It will then cost at least $2 billion. Then you'd have, what's a Kaner worth? I'm not going to say that. Okay. But I'm doing well. That sounds good, right? Is that a nice way to put it? It's good for me that Kaner owns the stakes in the other businesses. Yes, and I have the number. You don't have to give a number. But what do you think about Kaner or yourself? I don't have a big enough share. Really, I think I have, even if I can't say for sure because then everyone will know. Not at all. There are a lot of dollars in my account, okay? Okay? There are hundreds of millions of dollars at risk with Bitcoin, and soon there will be billions. Then I was going to say, when you come back next year, we'll do this again, and you'll be a Bitcoin billionaire. But you remember that model I gave you? I'm going to buy Bitcoin every time it goes down. I understand why you're lending. Listen, you don't need to explain that here. There you have it. I got the 50% Bitcoin. I got the Bitcoin lending, but what you'll see most of the time is that Kenneth Fitzgerald will be the one to bring Bitcoin into traditional banking. That's why we will be in charge of it. In a few years, I'll play this show and say, see, I told you. Of course, no one will remember, right? But every bank will do the same thing after we do it and show them how to do it right. They are all going to copy Bitcoin because it is valuable. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not retail madness. This is adoption at the national level.